By how much does 3,300 exceed the sum 99 plus 199 and so on? Okay, well, each of these, if we were just to make it one more, you would have the following. And if you added these guys, you would get 3,300. But how much did I add? I added this by 1, this by 1, this by 1, and this by 1. So I really went up by 4 in order to get from that sum to 3,300. And that's basically all they're asking. So 4 is the answer, and that would be C. Round 0.2727 to the nearest thousandth. So 2727. Okay, so this is, let's see here, 10th, 100th, 1000th. So you have to round this guy. So since this is a 7, we're going to round that guy up to a 3. So it'll be 273. And that is answer choice B. Answer choice C is the exact same. I'm not really sure what is the difference between B and C here. But answer choice B is correct. Anyhow, so number 3, 4 times 44 is the same value as. Well, 4 times 44, first of all, is what? 176, right? So we have to look at the answer choices and see which one is also equivalent to 176. And that, after a little bit of calculation, you will see is this guy right here. 8 times 22 is also 176. 80 hundredths is how many fifths? 80 hundredths. So a hundredth is 1 over 100. And they're saying that is equivalent to how many fifths? Well, let's just figure this out first. This is 80 over 100, which is the equivalent of 8 over 10, which is the same as 4 over 5. Now, 4 over 5 is the same as 4 times 1 over 5. So 4 times 1/5. So that question mark is a 4. So number 4, the answer would be A. 64 divided by 8 divided by 4 times 2. Okay, 64 divided by 8 divided by 4 times 2. Okay, so 64 divided by 8 is 8. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So number 5, the answer would be A. Balloons cost 3 for $2.50 and or 1 for $1. For $13, how I can buy at most. Okay, so let's see. We want to maximize, so let's go with this deal. That's probably the better deal. So let's see how many 250s I can squeeze into $13, and then I think it'll be, that's as much as, that's $12.50. I think that's the most I can squeeze in. For each of these, I got 3 balloons. So the total number of balloons will be 15, and that's the max, and therefore number 6 would be B. 5 times 10 plus 5 times 20 plus 5 times 30 is equal to 10 times something. Okay, so first let's do this. This is 50 plus 100 plus 150, right? And 10 times something, so 10 times n, let's say. So this is, what is this, 300? Yeah, 300 is equal to 10n, so n is equal to 30. So the answer is 30, but interestingly, they don't give 30 as an answer choice. They give you numbers that add up to something. So which one of these adds up to 30? It would be this one here. 5 plus 10 plus 15 is 30, and therefore D is the answer for number 7. The capacity of how many 2-liter cans is half that of 16 3-liter cans. So 2, let's just say n, is the equivalent of 16 times 3, but we want half of that, so divide by 2. So that is the math that we get from that sentence, and then we just have to solve this. So 2n is equal to 16 divided by 2 is 8, 8 times 3 is 24, and therefore n is equal to 12. Number 8, therefore, is B. Multiplying a number by 6 over 4 is the same as dividing by. So if we have 6 over 4 times a number, they're saying that is the same as that number divided by something. Okay, so the n's cancel. So all we are left with is this, and therefore x would be 4 over 6. So number 9 is 4 over 6. Oh, but we have to reduce that, so that's 2 over 3. And that's why 2 over 3 is the answer, which is A. How many positive integral factors of 60 are multiples of 6? Oh boy, so I got to figure out how many. What are the factors of 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, what else? 20, 30, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so how many of those are multiples of 6? Well, that is, and that is. So that would be 4 of them, if I've counted properly. And therefore, number 10 would be C. Three squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared times 5 squared minus 4 squared minus 3 squared. Okay. That's 9 plus 16 plus 25. Times 25 minus 9. Sorry, minus 16 minus 9. All right. So that's 50 multiplied by 25 minus 16 minus 9 is 0. Oh, interesting. So the answer is 0. So that is D. If today is Tuesday, if I first bent over backwards 563 days ago, then on which date did I first bend over backwards? Okay. Well, 563, if you went from Tuesday to last Tuesday, right? That's exactly 7 days. So if the number instead of 563 was 7, then you say, well, 7 days ago was a Tuesday. So that's what the approach here. So I'm going to divide this by 7. And when I do, what do I get? It's not divisible by 7, right? I think it's 80 with a remainder of 3. So what that means is that if I had a Tuesday, I go back to Tuesday, but then I go back another 3 days because the remainder is 3. So Monday, Sunday, and Saturday. So Saturday is where I actually go back to. So the answer for number 12 would be A. When I subtract the product of 1/2 and 1/4 from its sum, I get. So first I have to add them, and then I have to subtract from them their product. Right? So that's going to be 2 plus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 8. So that's 3 over 4 minus 1 over 8. So that's 6 minus 1 over 8, and that's 5 over 8. 5 over 8. And therefore, that would be C for number 13. 1/2 of 20, well, first of all, that's 10, is 20% of some number. Okay, so that's the math, basically, when you translate that sentence. And therefore, x would be 10 divided by 0.2, and I believe that is 50. So this number was 14. So that would be B. Which of the following has an odd number of sides? Okay, rhombus, I believe, is 4. Octagon is 8. Hexagon is 6. Pentagon is 5. So odd, the only odd number here is 5, so therefore that would be D. Okay, what's the next one here? Of the following, which has the largest prime factor? Okay, well, 7, the largest prime factor is 7. 14, the largest prime factor is 7. 19 is a prime number itself, so that's the largest prime factor. And 20, 20, the largest prime factor would be 5, I think. Yeah. So of these all, the largest prime factor would be this guy, which is C. What is the largest integer that could be the length of a side of an equilateral polygon whose perimeter is 100? Well, a polygon is, I guess, an n-gon, meaning there's n sides, and they don't tell us how many. And the perimeter, and it's equilateral, so that means all sides are the same. So, for example, let me just say that this would be an equilateral polygon with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is hexagon. And if the side length was x and all the sides are the same, the perimeter would be 6x. And 6x, they're saying, is 100. And x, therefore, would be 100 divided by 6, which in this case is not an integer. So there has to be an integer. Okay, I got it. I was a little confused at the question. So basically what we're looking for is something that divides into 100 properly. Okay, I got it. So 2 does. That would mean each side is 50, but you cannot make a polygon with 2 sides, right? It wouldn't be a polygon. It has to have at least, well, more than 2. So let's try 100 divided by 3, and that's 33.3333, right? That's not an integer because you have to have an integer. Okay, let's try 100 divided by 4. That's 25, and that works. And then that's the largest, because then as you go 5, 6, 7, and so on, the side lengths would get smaller. So I think that's it. That is the answer, so therefore B would be correct. In this case would be whatever, some polygon that has 4 equal sides. What fraction of a week is 7 seconds? Aha, okay. So a week is 7 days, right? And 7 days would be 7 times 24 hours. Then the 7 times 24 times 60 minutes. And then finally 7 times 24 times 60 times 60 seconds. So that's how you go from week to seconds. So they're saying we have 7 seconds and we're dividing by this whole number. So 7 times 24 times 60 times 60. Well, the 7s cancel, so then you're just left with 24 times 60 squared. And I believe that number would be 86,400. So that would mean the answer is D. If one giant apple a day keeps the doctor away, then it takes how many giant apples to keep the doctor away from March 1st to June 1st? Okay, so March, oh boy, do I even remember how many days are? I think 31 for March, and then April is 30, and then May is 31, and then June, well, in this case, we're just looking at June 1st, so that's just one day. We add these guys up, and that's 93. So 93 is the answer. Number 19 would be A. 1 times 4 times 9 is equal to the square root of 1 times 2 times 3 times something. Okay, well, 1 times 4 times 9 is 36. And then we have the square root of 2 times 3 times something. So that's 6 times something. Let's just call it n. I don't know why they use a question mark, but whatever. So what do we do now? I guess square both sides. So that's going to be 36 squared is equal to 6n. So n is equal to 36 squared divided by 6. And that is 216. And therefore, number 20 is B. The average of 5 over 4, 7 over 4, 9 over 4, and 11 over 4 equals the average of one end. Okay, so the first step, of course, is to add these guys and divide by 4 because that's how many there are. That would be the average. And they're saying that's equal to the average of 1 plus, let's call it n, divided by 2, since we're taking the average of two numbers. Okay, so that would be, let's see here, 16 plus 6, 32 over 4. Divided by 4 is equal to 1 plus n over 2. So 32 over 4 is 8, and then divide by 4 again, so that's 2. And then cross multiply, you get 4 is equal to 1 plus n, and therefore n is equal to 3. Number 21, the answer is A. The number of dimes in 850 bucks is equal to how many quarters in $850? All right, so $850 would be, well, there's 10 dimes in a dollar, so 8,500 dimes, right? Because a dime is 10 cents. And the number of quarters, well, there's a quarter is 25 cents, correct? So there's 4 quarters in a dollar, so 4 times 850, which I think is 3,400 quarters. Okay, so basically what they're saying is 8,500 is equal to 3,400 times something. So let's call it n. Okay, so that should give us the correct answer. So n is 8500 divided by 3400, and therefore n is equal to, I'm just going to go by the answer choices here. I think it's 2.5, because I don't feel like calculating that in my mind, although it's not that difficult. So that would be C for that question. If number is even, then which of the following could also be even? Okay, so if it's even, it's of the form 2n, right? Is that right? Yeah. So 2n, let's just go with the answer choices. We have 2n squared, we have the square root of 2n, we have 2 times 2n, and then we have 2n divided by 2. Okay, well, this would be 4n squared. Well, this is obviously even since it's a multiple of 4. Anything that you multiply by 4 will be even. This is also 4n, so again, even. So E for even. This one, that one I'm not sure. It could vary, I think, depending on what n is. If n is even, interesting. Let's come back to that one. This one is just n. So if n is even, then n can never be odd. So I am pretty sure that number 23 therefore is D. Yeah, let me think about this one more time. So n is even, right? So n, for example, was 8. And then choice D would be basically 8 divided by 2, which is 4, which again is even. So it could, then which of the following could be odd? Ooh. Wait. Okay. Let me choose a different one. If n is 10, that's even. And then choice D would be 10 divided by 2, which is 5. Okay, I think I misunderstood the question. So it could be odd. So that works out. The answer is D. I was right. It just my explanation wasn't proper. So I got it. So n is even. Which of the following could also be odd? And it's n divided by 2. It all depends on what n is selected to be. As shown, the square at the right is divided into 8 identical isosceles triangles. How many different right angles does the figure contain? Okay. Well, let's see here. Well, without messing up the diagram, let me just right angles, right? Right angles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, right? So in total, there's 4 times 4, so 16 of those right angles. Now, are there any more? In the box, if you notice, there's that box in the middle, and that's also going to produce some right angles like that. So that's another 4. So in total, 20 right angles. So number 24, the answer would be A. Two to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 3 times 5 to the power of 3 is equal to, okay, so we got to do some math here. 3, now I'm going to break this up into prime factors. Okay, here we go. So let's collect all these guys. 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 1, so this is canceled. 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 1, so this reduces to 3 to the power of 1. 5 reduces this to 5 to the power of 2. So there we go. So 3 times 25, 75 is n. And therefore number 25, the answer is B. I dieted for 30 days. That's 40% of the how many days I'll stay on my diet. So I think the interpretation of this question in terms of a math formula would be 30 is equal to 40%, which is 0.4, times n. So therefore n is equal to 30 divided by 0.4, and therefore n is equal to 75, which would be choice D. Okay, big long question here. All right, well, this 3 cancels with that. That 2 cancels with that. That 3 cancels with that. That 2 cancels with that. That 3 cancels with that. That 2 cancels with that. And the only thing left is the first 2 and the last 3. So number 27, the answer would be B. 5 to the power of 4 is how many percent of 10 to the power of 4? So I guess what you have to do is you have to take 5 to the power of 4 and divide it by 10 to the power of 4 to get that percentage. Okay. So 5 to the power of 4, well, 10 to the power of 4 breaks up into 2 times 5 each to the power of 4, correct? So all we really have is 1 over 2 to the power of 4, which is 1 over 16. And that and then in terms of a percentage, that would be 6.25. So B is the answer. What is the area of a semicircle region? Okay, so here's a semicircle. And diameter is 16, so the radius is 8. So the area is pi r squared. So pi r is 8. So that's 64 pi, right? So 29 is B. Wait, hold on. Did I do this properly? No, because I have to divide by 2 because it's semicircle. So that has to be divided by 2. So 32 pi. Okay, make sure I do that properly. So therefore the answer is A. It's not B. Yeah, semicircle, not circle. Well, I actually drew the semicircle properly, but the area formula was not correct. Okay, 32 pi, no problem. If Rn means the reciprocal of n, then R of R2 divided by R3 divided by R4. Okay, so let's just do the bracket first, and then we'll do the big R, or the outside R. So the reciprocal of that divided by 1/3 divided by 1/4. Division. Okay, so is that correct? Yeah. So 1/2, invert and multiply, So that's 12 over 2, so 6. And then we have to take the reciprocal of that, so that's 1 over 6. So C is the answer to number 30. Cupid has shot his arrow 10,000 times. His success rate was the square root of 1%. How many of Cupid's shots were a success? So the square root of 1%. So 1% is 0.01. So the square root of that is 0.1. So 0.1, therefore, you have to multiply that by the 10,000 times, and that is 1,000. So number 31, the answer is D. The largest factor of 10,000 is? The largest factor of 10,000 is 10,000. I think that's all there is to that. 2 horses each chased 4 cows, chased 8 pigs, chased 16 chickens. No animal was chased by 2 animals. Altogether, how many animals took part in this chase? Okay, so we start off with 2 horses. Then each of them chased 8 cows. So that's, each of them chased 4 cows. So that's 8 cows in total. Each of them chased 8 pigs. So that's 4 times 8, which is 30. Hold on. Each of them chased 8 pigs. So that would be 8 times 8. So we have 8 cows, each of them. So 8 times 8, 64 pigs. And then each of those pigs say 16 chickens. So 64 times 16 chickens. Okay. And then we have to add up all these guys. So we have to say 2 plus 8 plus 64 plus 64 times 16. And that grand total is the answer to the question. So I believe that's 1098. So that would be D. If the measure of each interior angle of 9-sided polygon P is less than 180, then P has at most how many different pairs of parallel sides? Okay, so how many? 9? Oh, 9. Okay, so first let me start off with something similar. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8, but I need 9 sides. So how am I going to get 9 sides? I think what I need to do is I need to make a cut like that. And then if I make a cut like that, I will get 9 sides, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do you see that? It's going to be hard for... Well, let me see if I can duplicate it in case you can't see how if I cut it'll make 9 sides. Okay, I gotta draw this carefully here. Yeah. I'm trying to draw it. There. I think I did it. So we got 9 sides now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now they're saying how many pairs of parallel sides? Okay, so let's count the pairs of parallel sides. We got this one and this one. That's 1 pair. That's 2 pairs. That's 3 pairs. And that one is the 4th pair. So we have 4 pairs of parallel sides. So the answer would be C for number 34. Which cannot be the smallest of 5 consecutive integers whose product is divisible by 2, 5, and 9. So we have 5 consecutive integers, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, and n plus 4, right? So they're saying which of the following cannot. Okay, so let's just go with the answer choices. Let's say it's 5 or 4 or 3 or 2. If those are the possibilities, what would be the other numbers? Well, this would be 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, which of these fails, cannot, to be divisible by 2, 5, and 9? Okay, let's see. Are those numbers all divisible by 2, 5, and 9? Let's see. Well, this is not divisible by 9. This is divisible by 5, and this is divisible by 2. So this passes. Let's see the next one. 2, 5, 9, right? So this is divisible by 2. This is divisible by 5. Can we get a 9 out of here? There's no 9, but can we get 3 times 3? And I don't think so. So this one fails. And then these ones obviously would pass. So 4 cannot be the smallest. So number 35 is B. Yeah. 2007 divided by 2006 divided by n is equal to 2006 divided by 2007. Okay, so therefore, if we were to cross multiply, n would go up here, and then this 2007 would come up here, and then this 2006 would go down there. And there we go. So that, in terms of the answer choices, looks to me like A. The least common denominator, okay, so LCD, and we got 2, 3, 2 to the power of 2, and break it up into prime factors. 5, 2 times 3, 7, 2 to the power of 3, and 3 to the power of 2, and 2 times 5. 2 times 5. Okay, so to get LC, least common denominator, you have to think the largest. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but that's how you do it. And I say think largest of what? Of the prime factors. So first of all, what are the prime factors? We have a 2, we have a 3, we have a 5, and we have a 7. So what's the largest in all of these? For 2, it's this guy. 2 to the power of 3 is the largest. For 3, this guy, 3 to the power of 2. For 5 is just power of the 1, and 7 power of the 1. So that's the largest. So this is actually 8 times 9 times 5 times 7, and that is 2520. So C. Of the first 999 positive integers, how many are primes or multiple of primes? Okay, interesting. Well, everything is a multiple of a prime. Every number is a multiple of primes, right? So like just this example right here is basically this multiple of some prime. Every number can be broken down into a multiple primes. There's only one exception, except the number 1. That cannot be written as a product of primes, and 1 is not a prime itself. So of the first 999, all of them except the number 1, so therefore it would be 998. So that would be C. And finally, the grand finale here. In the sum shown at the right, if R, S, T, U represent digits, then R plus S plus T plus D must equal. Okay, so R, if we look at this guy right here, U plus R is equal to T, right? The first one, the first column there. And then T plus S is equal to T. And then S plus T is equal to T. And then R plus U is equal to T. So if we add all these up, we get 2R plus 2S plus 2T plus 2U is equal to 4T. Divide through by 2 and get R plus S plus T plus U is equal to 2T. And therefore that would be choice D.